Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Mechanic Brewery Season 5, where I talk about the various homebrew mechs created by the Lancer community. In today's episode, Rakshasa, from HORUS, by Lost Devil Ho. Rakshasa, in Hindu mythology, are often depicted as a race of usually malevolent beings. They are shape-shifting illusionists that can assume the form of any creatures and change size at will. Some were said to be man-eaters, and gleefully made an appearance on the worst of the battlefield. More interestingly, in the Hindu epics, there's both good and bad Rakshasa, and fought on the armies of both good and evil as well, but more often than not, the Rakshasa that rose to prominence in wars are usually villains. Named after the mythology, the Rakshasa curses those on the battlefield it has cut with malware and virus seeping into their wounds and systems. Looking at its stats, the Rakshasa is a size 1 boy with 1 armor, average health, and okay amount of repair cap, along with an excellent evasion and speed. It also has a good save target, though its sensor range is terrible, but it also has good E-defense, good tech attack, and 6 base systems points along with an okay heat cap. As for its traits, it has 2 of them. First, Neuroshredder, when you hit with a melee attack, gain +1 accuracy on your next tech attack against the target, and may tech attack even if the target is biological. Second, Prince of Blades, Rakshasa may reroll first its melee attack each round but must keep the second result. I think you can already see why the poor sensor range doesn't matter for this HORUS frame, as the Rakshasa is a specialized melee tech attacker that gets better at hacking after slashing up someone. Even better, it's really good at making sure that it will cut someone with its second trait, ensuring that it almost never miss with its melee attack. As for its weapon mounts, it has 2, 1 flex and 1 heavy. Onto its core power, the Rakshasa can activate 10-headed feast eating for heart render EXE, in which as a free action when you hit with melee or tech attack, you can activate this core power and get one of the following effects. If you hit with melee, the next tech attack you hit on the same target, get to effectively double the duration of said tech attack effect, as the same effect is immediately reapplied when its duration ends. Additionally, the target must make a hull save or become jammed until the end of its next turn. This is presumably not having its duration doubled. Also, if jammed, the target's E-defense becomes 5 and auto fails all engineering and systems checks and saves. If you hit with tech attack, the next melee attack you hit on the same target gets all its damage converted to burn. Additionally, the target must make a system save or become stunned until the end of its next turn. Also, this core power is efficient, so you can do this in every battle. Basically, whether you cut or hack someone, it's going to hurt a lot. I also want to remind you that because Rakshasa has a heavy mount, you can put a combat drill on it. I just want to remind you of that potential mass devastation. Either way, Rakshasa is one hell of a hack and slasher frame that can actually do both roles at once quite well, and is surprisingly survivable for a HORUS frame too. As for the rest of the license, you get Laughing Moon Saber and Hunger Drivers in the first section. Laughing Moon Saber, the inevitable slash. It's a smart main melee that has an okay threat too and a very normal 1d6 damage, but it has one trick: it just ignores resistance, whether it's resistance to kinetic or something else, meaning there's truly nothing this blade cannot cut without dealing full damage, except armor. It can really do works, that's for sure. Hunger Drives, Consume Your Foe, is an invade upgrade systems that gives you 2 additional options. First, Flash, choose a character adjacent to the target, including you. They may move 3 as a reaction. Ignoring engagement does not provoke reaction, and you can just go right through the target. If that happens, the target takes 3 kinetic damage. Second, Bite, the target becomes shredded and slowed until the end of their next turn. This can only affect a specific character once per scene. Flash is honestly kinda situational, but if you or your allies like to stick close to people, it could be useful as an additional source of damage and movement. And if you want someone's defense get blown wide open and be too slow to run away from you, Bite is nice too, though probably not that useful for a Vlad. Aside from Rakshasa frame itself, you get 3 Arrows Suite and Deva Dagger in the second section. 3 Arrows Suite, Move or Perish, is another invade upgrade systems that gives you 2 additional options. First, Focus Marker. If your target does not boost during their next turn, they immediately take 1d6 energy damage and are knocked prone at the end of that turn. Second, Exception Marker. At the start of your target's next turn, all characters besides you within burst 2 of the target takes 1d6 AP energy damage. Target is unaffected. Essentially, it's a way to force your target to waste their movement or get them and their buddies hurt. A very useful movement control tool. Just try not to use Exception Marker on something extremely fast because the target is now a missile that's flying right towards you. Deva Dagger, Magic Knife with Magic Effect, is an unique main melee, meaning you can only have one of it at a time, that has a short as heck threat and low damage, and also cost 1 system point. But the main thing about this dagger is that you don't use it for damage, you use it for hacking, because on hit, you can apply one of your invade option onto the target, meaning you can stab something with high E defense to give them a taste of your invade anyway. This also allows any melee frame with poor tech attack to reliably invade a target, and there's a lot of invade options that can be more painful than just being stabbed. In the final section, you get Tri's Hula Nexus and 10,000 Faces. Tri's Hula Nexus, Strike Like Thunder, is oddly a heavy melee weapon with threat 2, decent damage, and also thrown 5. The weapon also counts as a nexus for the purpose of effects and abilities like talent, meaning you can use Senti main with this weapon too. Also, when the weapon is thrown, you can take 2 heat to give the attack blast 1-2. With Executioner and Senti main together, the Tri's Hula can get quite crazy with how much destruction it could bring, in both damage and effects. The fact that you can give its thrown attack blast 1 is already very good. I'm honestly surprised that it didn't have system point cost or something like that. This weapon is quite powerful, much like its namesake. And finally, 10,000 Faces, take a wild guess. For 1 heat, as a quick action, make a tech attack against a character in sensor and line of sight. On hit, both you and that target get to be cloaked in a photomimetic veil, whatever that means. This gains you the collapse veil reaction, in which when a hostile targets you or your target with an attack, or the target is destroyed, you can consume the veil to swap positions with the target, and if activated as a reaction to an attack, the target of the attack is changed too. This reaction lasts until you use this quick action again, the veil is consumed, your target is destroyed, or they succeed on getting rid of it by passing a system save as a quick action. If your target is willing and allied, the attack is automatically successful, and doesn't count as an attack at all. To sum it up, this is a system that basically lets you swap places with other people for them to get hit or for you to take the hit. In fact, you should absolutely bait an attack from the most powerful hostile after using the system successfully, because that would be very funny. Just don't get grappled in the process, that would make you the center of the joke instead. And that's basically it on Rakshasa, a hack and slasher that's much more determined in ripping their foes apart by parts or by systems. You can actually find Rakshasa in Omission of Terror, a homebrew supplement created by Circle Tagon, a publishing circle consisted of Tabak Iberas and Lost Devilj Ho. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.